Hey y'all, it's Tiana Baby, and welcome to After Hours. After Hours is a reflective safe space where one can find relief and debrief. In today's episode, we have been graced with a young woman who effortlessly articulates life through her craft. She is a powerhouse who humbly inspires each and every single person that she meets. An award winning poet, author, artist, and my dear friend. Please welcome Fanta Ballo.
Hi. Such a sweet introduction.
Ah,
Okay.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm blessed.
Good,
Highly favored.
good. Before we start everything, I just want to first check in with you. Something that I've been trying to incorporate is a gratitude practice. So, in this current state of time, what are three things you would say you're grateful for?
One, I'm grateful for the fact that I wake up every day and I make it home safely every day.
Okay, good.
Two, I'm grateful for the fact that I have friends, family, and people who genuinely care about me, want to see me win, and who can hold me on the times where, I need it the most. And then third, I'm grateful for the kids I teach every day. They
Oh,
teach me a lot about myself. And they drive me crazy, but they keep me grounded.
oh, that's so good. I'm gonna start off with who is Fanta Ballo?
Every time I get this question, I never really know how to answer it. But honestly, Fanta Ballo today is someone who's still learning, someone who's becoming more comfortable with falling back or like not getting the first yes or not getting everything that she wants, but receiving everything that she needs and she deserves. So this font is in a very, I would say, spiritual space in a sense of like accepting what is and like being okay with what isn't and taking all my L's on the chin and taking all my wins with grace. And I'm just ready. I feel like I'm ready to evolve into the next chapter of myself. So like I'm just in a space where I'm just very hyper vigilant, very like trying to figure things out, but I'm trying hard not to be so hard on myself because I've been so hard on myself for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to actually give myself that grace that I give everyone else.
Oh, okay. You said you're trying to just like accept things and take things as they are. How do you think you're now navigating to just like be okay with things or just like taking things as they are? How are you doing that?
I would say this quote that I've been going by, let go and let God.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, I like that.
for someone who's been in control of everything in her life or been like very particular about what I
Mm-hmm.
want and writing everything out, it's hard to like just let go. And I feel like after graduating college, when now you're not in control of anything, it was hard. It's been what, almost 3 years since I
Mm-hmm.
graduated, and I'm just now figuring out like sometimes you just have to let go, let God or whatever you believe in, let the universe do what it got to do. Me stressing, me worrying can't change what's already going to happen. So I've just been more in a space where I'm just like trying to ease my anxiety and
Mm-hmm.
just like go with the flow of life. On, so if you do everything that you're supposed to do, worrying is not gonna help your
Right,
case. You
right,
might as well just chill and let the ducks fall where they may. So
right.
that's where I am right now in my life.
No, I definitely agree. So acceptance and understanding yourself and learning yourself, like what would you say are some of your biggest values and morals in this current state and time?
I think one of my biggest values and morals or values in life is integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is because a lot of times in this world, I get mad or I get frustrated with people, and I feel like it's because they lack integrity.
Okay.
I feel like when you say you're going to do something, you should do it, right? Without any validation or looking for anybody to reward you for what you're doing. I feel like people don't take enough pride anymore in the things they do. And me personally, I feel like the reason why I am where I am, able to do what I do, is because of the fact that I do everything with integrity. I don't want to half ass anything.
Yeah,
I don't want to like drop the ball. Like if I say I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna show up. If
right.
I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do something. And that's a value that I feel like a lot of people don't hold. That's why I'm so big on it. I think for me personally, I know that if I show up with all of that, it gives people something to look forward to. It
Right.
gives people something like, oh, okay, like I can mimic this because this is
Right.
not a skill.
Right.
This is not a talent. It's literally just basic morals and basic
Right.
values that you have within yourself. And another thing I would say is accountability.
Okay.
Right? Me just learning to take accountability for my actions. Like
Mhm.
Fanta, you could be wrong.
Right.
Fanta, you can
Right.
mess it up. And just like taking that in and not internalizing it in a negative way, but internalizing it like, okay, I did wrong, but how am I gonna get better? How am I gonna do this so that it doesn't happen again?
Personally, for me, like accountability is something that like like not struggle with, but I'm like, oh no, like I didn't do that. Like that's not
Yeah.
within my character. Like I can't do something like that. But it's okay to be like, I did this, this happened, like move forward. Like how are we gonna
Yeah.
move forward? You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
take time and be like,
Like I
so
did mess up, and
yeah,
that's fine. Doesn't
right,
make me any less human. Doesn't make me any less a good person.
right,
But it's also okay to admit when you do mess up.
right. I had gotten this question, my housemates, they were like, if you had a mission statement, and if you don't know, a mission statement is a short, just ultimate goal. So if you had a personal mission statement, what do you think your mission statement would be?
I have a quote from
Okay,
one of
go
my
ahead.
poems that I really resonate with, and it's this power and imperfection, and every loss isn't a reflection of you, right?
Ooh, wait, one more time. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This power and imperfection, and every loss isn't a reflection of you, right?
I like
Thank you. I loved it
that.
too. And the
Yes.
reason why is because growing up as someone who was always top of my class and everything, I was kind of like conditioned to be like a perfectionist. Like I
Okay.
wanted to do everything right, and if I do anything wrong, if I'm anything less than perfect, I start to feel like I'm not worthy. And this power and imperfection, like this power in not being perfect.
Yep.
And every time I take a loss, that doesn't mean that's the reflection of the whole person I am.
Right.
So that's my mission statement or the
Okay.
quote I've been living by.
Perfectly imperfect, I
Yep.
think. So you said you grew up like always being the top of your class and stuff like that. So tell me, like, walk me through like what was school life for you? Like, first of all, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Harlem,
Okay,
born and
Harlem.
raised.
Shout out Harlem. I'm from Harlem. Let me just say that. Y'all are dope. I love meeting Harlem people. I feel like every person I met from Harlem, y'all have like your own swag. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, so I had went to school with both my brothers for elementary and middle school.
Okay.
I'm the middle child, and I would say like in elementary school, I was the little sister because my older brother was there before me. And then in middle school, I became the older sister because my older brother graduated. So it was just me and my little
Uh
brother.
huh.
And that's when I found my love for like basketball, love for rapping and stuff. I started going to a summer camp. So that's when all that started. I would say high school is when I really started locking in on basketball. That's also the same time that the light bulb went off when I realized that basketball wasn't for me,
Okay.
right? And then that was a that was a hard pill to swallow because growing up it was baller's life, and then I got to high school, and to be honest, like it just wasn't what I expected it to be. I didn't get as much shine and recognition and burn as I wanted to, so that made me fall out of love with the game, which is why I initially just went away to college.
Uh huh.
But I would say in high school that's kind of when I started figuring out my own identity because I went to high school in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to be away from home a little bit. So I got to explore my identity, how to dress, how to feel. And that's when I really started to really come into myself as, being someone who's part of the LGBTQ
Mm-hmm.
community and, being comfortable in that skin. Um, but I loved high school. Like I loved my school. Like
Mm-hmm.
I did. I
School
just
in
wish,
Brooklyn.
yes, I just wish that basketball could have went better.
Right.
But I see that everything happens for a reason, and that just wasn't my calling.
Okay.
So I've become okay with it.
So in high school, how did you feel when basketball was just this might not be my future? Like,
Yeah.
what was that like for you?
Honestly, I was numb. Like I didn't feel anything. I was just going with the flow at that point in my life. I was just like, I'm gonna go to this college. I'm gonna major in economics. I'm gonna make me some money, and that's how we gonna roll. For so long, it was ball or nothing. So now that I was at the nothing part, it was like you got to make something shit.
Right.
Honestly, I didn't have plans to be a poet, full time poet, because in my head it was like we don't make money, writers don't make money. So I'm like I don't want to be a writer. But as time went on, I started to realize that like, girl, you can make money doing anything.
Literally.
To this day, I still have like regrets sometimes. Sometimes I think back like, was it me? Was it like the fact that I wasn't working hard enough? Did I mess up actually going to that school in Brooklyn? Should I have chose a different school? So much what ifs that still go through my brain, but then I also have to like just realize that like, it is what it is,
Yeah,
girl.
right.
Like
And everything happens for a reason.
everything happens for a reason.
Yep. If y'all don't know, Fanta is a UA alum. So I want to get into your UA experience because
Mhm.
Albany is crazy and it's a simulation. I always say
Mhm.
this. So I want to know like how you did it, how was your college experience? And yeah, like tell us about that.
Yeah, so I first went to Bar College at Simons Rock for 2 years as a PWI. If you want to hear more about that experience, I have a poem out called So Privileged, and I literally talk about my experience at that school. And then I ended up transferring to Albany. And the first year at Albany, I would say I didn't think I belonged.
Okay.
But it was literally right before the pandemic hit.
Okay.
We had Love Jones with phenomenal voices. I did my love poem there.
Yep.
And from there,
It's on your Instagram, right?
yep, it's on my Instagram, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
From there, the love poem with the red and black flannel.
Yeah.
From there, literally everything changed. Like everyone started jacking my poetry. Then I went we was locked down during quarantines, but I started posting videos online, like doing like videos straight off my phone, like straight putting my phone up, making videos, posting those. Then that's when the whole Shawn Mendes thing happened. And then that's when I came back to school. And that's when all the orgs was asking me to perform. And it was just like all of that steamrolled from that one performance at Love Jones. And from there I just started like really getting acclimated into the poetry scene, but also like energy that is around UA. And
Yeah.
there's two different types. There's the creative energy
Yep.
because there's so many people here who are so
Yeah.
creative, who have so many big ideas, and if you like really connect and you could really get some magic done. And that was the scene that I was really more interested in. And I feel like I was able to collaborate with a lot of people
Uh-huh.
and really get some really good work done. I always say UA helped the trajectory of my poetry career because it gave me so much exposure,
Right.
even though it was just on this campus. It just being just on this campus, those are the same people who leave this school and go do bigger and better things. Because I even had somebody, she works at the Slumo Institute. That's like the slime
Okay.
institute. She works there. I've never met her before, but she knew me through Albany. She contacted me, and I was able to do a collab with Slumo Institute. So it's like little things like that that you don't really think of.
Yeah.
It's not like she was my day-to-day friend. It's not
Right.
like we went to parties together. Nothing. But she seen me and
Yeah.
she just,
You never know who you're going to connect with or who's
that's a
going to
fact.
resonate with whatever you're putting out. And in this case, it's your poetry. My freshman year, you had graduated.
Yeah.
Graduated early. Can we just say that? Like, graduated at 19 with not one, but 2 degrees. Can you tell them? Can you
Yeah.
tell them?
I did. I
It's like, you're
graduated
so
early.
humble. It's so, I would took my, for her, 2 degrees. I'm so
Yeah.
proud. When I met you, you were working in the bank. You had a
Mhm.
full-time job at the bank. And I remember we would talk every day on your lunch break. What drove you to like quit your job and like pursue
Poetry
poetry
full
full
time.
time? Yeah.
It was really on one of my lunch breaks actually. I got a text from Shawn Mendes probably like 30 minutes before my lunch break or an hour before my lunch break, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be performing at Global Citizens. They're giving me a minute to speak, but I'd rather give that minute to you to perform." Right? So then we hopped on a call. He told me everything. I think it was probably like 2 weeks later that I
Uh-huh.
would have to go to the city to perform. And then, but he was having 2 shows that week. He wanted me to perform at both. That means I would have to miss a week off of work. So when I got that, I was like, oh, I'm out. Like,
Right.
it wasn't a thought in my head like, oh, I have work. When you're full time, you have PTO time that you're allotted. And
Yeah.
once you max out that PTO time, you have no more time for nothing. So it was more so like, I didn't think about none of that. I was just like, this is where I need to be, right? And in this lifestyle, as a poet, full time poet, when you get that call, you gotta be ready.
Right.
You don't have the leisure of being like, no, can we reschedule? Can I do that?
Right.
No, it's happening today. Can you make it or not? So when that happened, I started looking at everything in retrospect because when I came back, my manager told me I had like 3 days of PTO left. And mind you, Global Citizens was in September. I had 3 days PTO until December. I could only call out for 3 more days. I say, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work for me because I live the lifestyle that when they call me, I need to be ready. You
Yeah.
don't know who's gonna call you to do something
Right.
that could ultimately change your life. And being stuck in a 9 to 5 bank job just wasn't gonna work. And also because it was in Albany, it was like if I had something in the city, like I would have to call out. So that was essentially like the thing that drove me to like be like I need a new job. And then I just started reaching out to my network and I was able to get a virtual teaching job that sustained me for what I wasn't performing.
That leads me into what is your ethnic background?
I'm from Ivory Coast and Mali. I'm West African.
Okay. And I know like African culture, they can be strict. They come off a little harsher sometimes. You know, you had a job, then you quit your job to pursue poetry. Like how was that to your parents? Were they accepting of that? Are they supportive of you?
For the most part, I've always been like, a go getter, independent, getting it on my own. So in a way, my parents just trust me
Okay.
and like what I'm doing. At first, it didn't make sense to talk about like my pay would come up, like the pay difference that I initially took. But I've been doing it, right? I've
Right.
been making sure everything is paid for. So you can't really say anything because
Right.
I've been doing the work. So they've
The
just
proof is in the
accept
pudding.
yeah, they've just accepted that like Fanta gonna do what Fanta gotta do. I didn't graduate early to waste time.
Right.
So I'm gonna make something shake. You gonna have to see the vision or not. So I think in a lot of aspects, I take my parents' like opinions and everything to heart. But when it came to that, it was like this is what I'm doing. That's it. Like this is my calling. This is what I'm here for. And if you don't understand now, hopefully one day you will. But until then, I'm gonna keep rocking.
Right. And you have. You have. So where do you think this like drive of like just giving your 100%, being a go-getter, like where do you think that passion or that drive came from?
Being that I came out at such an early age or like was forced out basically, I felt like I was overcompensating with everything else. I know I'm gay and I know all this stuff, but I don't want y'all to hate me. Like I don't want my parents to hate
Yeah.
me. So let me do good at everything else so that could circumvent like that one thing in my life. So I think that is what drove me at first. That is what made me leave the house early.
Uh-huh.
That is what made me feel like I have to win because if everything hits the fan, I know that I'm gonna have something to fall back on. So I kind of was doing it for like future me, who's gonna need some stability. I need to know that I'm gonna be able to rely on myself. I know that I need to be able to do what I love, and just seeing how my work was influencing people and really like making people feel that just was more of a push for me to keep
Right.
going.
I know personally, like your poetry always just it gives me chills. I feel like you resonate a lot with a lot of like key things that people go through. Like for me, it's a lot about like identity, love, and we're gonna get into that in the next segment. But I mean, I guess that leads me into my next question. I'm gonna call this the three P's: the
Hmm.
past, present, and promised future. I want to know why you do it for your younger self, why you're doing this for your present self, and why you're doing this for your promised future.
For little Fanta, I feel like for so long she just needed somebody to listen and she didn't have that. So I do all this so that or anybody who is like how I was when I was younger could understand that they are being heard and they are being seen and their story isn't just a one-off story, right? I do it because little Fonto will be so proud of what I'm
Oh.
doing now. Even though she could not have pictured this life for me, one thing she knew was that Fanta was going to inspire others because one of my like dream jobs that I wanted to do when I was younger was a civil rights leader, right?
Really?
Yeah. Like for real. Like I've just always wanted to get my message out and really reach people, right? So even though I didn't become a civil rights leader, I still became an activist in my own form. So for younger Fanta, I'm just checking off things off her bucket list. And for my promised future, I would say I'm doing this because I need that generational wealth.
Yeah.
I need to make sure everybody good in the family. I need to make sure that me and my people won't have to worry about nothing. That's what I'm doing for my promised future. And present, I'm just doing it to stay alive. Staying alive in the sense of like keeping myself true to myself.
Right.
And as I grow and as I build myself and my identity, just having that rock and maturing in a sense of like, what can I do next? That is what I'm doing for my present self.
I love every single answer you gave. For your younger self, you definitely are making an impact. For your promised future, oh girl, that bag is coming in. And present self, yes, you definitely did build a good foundation. I could see it. Like your aura is very calming. It's genuine. In this generation, you see like people just acting and stuff like that, but you can't fake it. Being real and authentic, and I feel like you do it so effortlessly because that's you. That's who you are, and I'm happy that you are remaining true to yourself. Seriously. So
Thank you.
moving into brand identity. Fanta Ballo, the poet. I just want to start. So, what is the day to day life of the poet?
So on the weekdays, depending on if I have a gig or like a workshop or just an appointment for something, I
Uh-huh.
get that in the morning from like 9 to 1. I get all my meetings in, I get all my Zoom calls, work meetings. I try to send out most of my emails, like respond to people around that time. Then from from 1 to 7, 1 to 8, I'm at work. At the after school I work at, I'm a poetry specialist there. So I do poetry with the kids. And then after 8, I either hit the gym or I get some more writing in, or if I have a late night meeting call like I had one the other day. Oh, yesterday. We'll just, work that out. And then on the weekends, most likely I have a show. So it's either prepping in the morning. If it's a show that we have to travel for, either am I driving or am I taking a train or anything, getting that set up. Then if it's in the city, then, you just chill till it's time for the show. And then you go back home, you chill with your friends, chill with my lady. And then some weeks is more intensive than others because some week there's shows. In the middle of the week, got shows, then you got work. But I know one thing is for certain is that after school job from 1 to 7. I feel like that's a very important thing for artists to have, especially when you're starting out. Have one secure form of income.
Okay.
Like no matter what, that's coming in. That is a mistake I made early on where I was relying heavily on my shows. And shows is like the seasons. Some months you're heavily booked, and some months you get one booking, right? And that month you got one booking.
Yeah, what you want to do now? Now you panicking. Now you
right. So that's the day to life.
Girl, you busy. You like when do you sleep?
I try to sleep at night. Wake up early in the morning, right back at it. So
do you like to be so busy though?
I've always been on the go. Yeah, I think now though I'm finding more pockets to rest.
Okay.
And more pockets to like just be with myself and just chill. As opposed to having to feel like I have to be consistently busy 24/7. So I feel like now I've found a good balance.
I feel like a lot of times like people don't have a good work life balance, and that's why work is so exhausting for them. But you love what you do.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of it. The fact that I love what I do. So a lot of times I don't feel like I'm at work. Or like a lot of times I feel like I'm getting paid to do what I love. So hey, sometimes I get paid more than my 2-week paycheck. Right. So it's like,
oh shoot, yeah. How is it? What age group is the after school that you work for?
High school.
Oh, it's high schoolers. Oh wow. Okay. They're already developed personalities. They think they grown. How is it though? Like teaching them. Like, what do? You teach them poetry?
Yeah. So we do leadership with them. We do a lot of things with them. But since I'm a poetry specialist, I also do poetry with them. And it's been going well. I've been having them, write. I've gotten 2 poets that's comfortable enough to actually perform. So they're gonna be performing in a concert. But on the other, like for the rest of them, I just give them a safe space to write, be with their friends. We've just ordered some of my books, so we're gonna be starting a book club next year, early next year. So I'm just excited. My main thing is really just giving these kids a safe space and like just opening them up to poetry. Not saying that all the kids that come to my class is gonna be a poet.
Right.
They don't have to want to be a poet, but at least while y'all here, like just get things off your chest. And later down the line, you might realize that, oh wow, I am actually good at this, or you might realize you're not, but I've exposed you to it.
Right.
So.
Oh, I love that. I feel like it's very full circle to what you said you craved as a child and like, just wanting to give back. I feel like you're doing what you love and you're inspiring and teaching younger kids, for that same thing. So I really do. I love that.
Thank you.
Good. What would you say is your biggest accomplishment or accomplishments
Mm.
thus far in your journey?
I would say my biggest accomplishment was my album release party.
Okay.
And the reason
Oh,
why I
we had a
say that
top.
that part was that it was all me. In the
Yes.
sense of like it was funded by me. It was all of my friends and family there. It was me dropping my first album. All of it was just like I did all that. Had like almost like 120 people there when it was at its peak,
Uh-huh.
and then ended it with the people I love, my friends. So also my book, but really my book, yes, I feel like, but with my book, I've learned how to be more of an author and really market myself along the way, like that I didn't have at the beginning. I just had the push from Shawn Mendes, but I wasn't really doing nothing my own muscle
Right.
until now. But I feel like with the album, like that was me. Like from the cover arts, everything
Yeah.
was me. So like I really was so proud of that whole rollout.
Okay. Hope it was worth it.
Hope it was worth it.
Well, one, your party, everything, that's just even the spot. It had big energy in just even walking in. You felt the love, like you felt the support. I
Yeah.
remember when you started to say some of the pieces on your album and everybody was just screaming and like, ah, like it was so cool. Speaking about your spoken word album, Hope It Was Worth It. You dropped that in 2022. Walk us through that, like studio sessions, the inspiration behind it, like tell us.
Girl, you was at them studio sessions.
I was.
She was right there with me,
Yep.
y'all. But honestly, the album came to like I finished the album in like 2 months. Right? All the poems is done. The only poem that I had left was the one poem, that Free G Larry, that last poem that I was holding on to. And I feel like the album took so long to drop was because I was going to the studio with but I was also going with Gary.
Uh-huh.
And when he had turned himself in, it kind of put like a stop in things.
Uh-huh.
Because I didn't go back to the studio since then. The last poem that was on that album was I had recorded it in my house, in my in-home studio. And that was the Free G
Really?
Larry. And I mixed it and I did all that myself. I say all that to say like that journey took so long. In my head, I feel like it took longer than it needed to, but it happened right on time. Because that album was done in February, March. The album
Okay.
release was in
December.
December.
Yeah.
I had 2 drops in between then. I had One Last Time and I had Imperfect. But other than that, it took all that time. I wasn't even gonna do the album release party until my shorty was like, "You scared? Like, why you not? You keep talking about this album release
Right.
party. It's happening in June.
She
It's
put the
happening in
fire in the
July."
ass, like,
And
let's
then I was
go.
like, "You right, Fanta.
What am I waiting
Like,
for?
what am I waiting for? Like, just get to it." And then he's literally what I
And
did.
it was all worth it.
It was all worth it.
No, yeah. Free G Larry. Oh.
Free G Larry, for real.
Having that support from Gary, that's one of your childhood friends, and then seeing him like turn himself in. I know you said that put a strain or like a hold on the album. And so how do you think that affects you as an artist? And how does that push you if it does?
I would say when it comes to like that, honestly, I just pray for my friends. I just pray for my people I love. I know I can't control the outcomes that happen in their life, but I can't say I'm not affected because when you love, like when you love how you love and you love genuinely, like your friends' problems become your problems.
Right.
So I try not to internalize it, but it's
Okay.
also like when things drastic happen, it's harder
Yeah.
because you know what your friend is going through, but like essentially like you really can't do anything. So I would say like it's kind of just praying. I just pray. I pray for myself. I pray for my friends. I pray for the people I love. And
Swear you pray for me.
I do. I do, but yeah.
I pray for you as well. Would you say you're spiritual at all?
Um, uh, I feel like I've been on a spiritual journey, but I wouldn't say that I'm complete. Like I wouldn't label myself as spiritual
Okay.
just because I haven't figured it out yet.
Okay.
So I
So you
don't
talk
like
to a higher being
yeah.
or like you speak to the universe.
Yeah.
Okay. So loving passionately and so intensely as you do, like, Do you think that sparks a lot of your creative drive or like gives you inspiration with your pieces and things that you put out?
Absolutely. I think because I'm able to love with my whole heart and not
Uh-huh.
just some of it, also get to feel great pain, also get to feel great triumph, also get to feel very high highs, but
Uh-huh.
also really low lows.
Yep.
And all of those emotions, I've garnered the skill to communicate and verbalize those emotions. And that is where most of my poetry comes from. The extreme feelings. The feelings where your back is against the wall and you don't know why you're feeling all these things, but then you look around and you take in everything that's happening and you realize this is why I feel that way. So let me talk about that.
Okay. That's really good. I feel like you highlight a lot of like low points or like things that can be perceived as negative events, you understand? I feel like you talk about it and you kind of like make light of the situation a
Hmm.
lot through your poetry. So, my next question is, how do you channel expression during your low points to create such beautiful pieces for the public or like for people?
I think when I'm at my lowest and I'm at my lowest points, I need something to get me out of it. I need something to make me repurpose the way I'm feeling. And that's where the poetry comes in, right? Because I want to reclaim back my power. I feel like when
Yep.
I'm at these low points, I feel like something is taken away from me. I feel like with the poetry, I could grab it right
Yep.
back, right? Because now I'm able to verbalize what it's been beating me up, but I'm also able to verbalize how I'm getting through it, how I'm getting out of it, and like just that passion, that power, and just letting it out. That is the way that I could get my power back. So I channel all of these emotions when I'm at my lowest points because I know that as long as I get all this out, I'm gonna come out a okay.
Uh-huh. And I'll be
So
right back,
yeah, I'll
you
be
know.
right back in motion. So.
Identity, love, and purpose. Even in your past work, a lot in
Mhm.
your book or in your album, and even in your new pieces, what is the meaning behind that? Like, why are these three things so important for you to put out to the world?
Honestly, honestly, I don't think it's intentional.
Okay.
I just think those are like it's the way I live.
Okay.
Like I live in my purpose, right? I live and continue to find my purpose and fulfilling my purpose. I'm a lover. I love on my heart, on my sleeve. If I love you, you know. If I hate you, you know as well. And my identity is something that I've always been so strong on because I came out at such a young age. I also am a child of West African immigrants who's also Muslim in a world where I'm the first generation born here because my older brother was born in Africa. It's so many intersectionalities
Right.
and so many things that like you kind of have to understand where you come from to understand who you are and why you are the way you are. So that's why I feel like those three things is literally the way I live. And that's why it comes through my poetry so prominent because it's actually who I
That's,
am.
yeah, that's you.
Yeah.
In this book, in your book, what poem would you say resonates the most with like identity, love, and purpose? If you could pick just one, take a skim. I want you to read it out. I want to hear it.
This one. One day I'll love Fanta Ballo.
Oh, I love. You can read a little bit of it, or if you want to read the whole thing, whatever you like.
One day, I'll be able to sing my praise so loud that they'll always remember my name and never forget my face. I'll leave an imprint. My journey to this moment has been long, but I've enjoyed the distance. I've loved and lost people every time I grieve different. Born a black body in a white world, so I'm not ignorant to the fact that I'm perceived different one day. I love my gentle heart. I'll accept that I live with my heart on my sleeve, and no matter how much I try, I care. I leave every situation a little less full because I give. I give sometimes more than I can afford, but I do it because that's all I ever wanted one day. I love the crooked smile my mom never had braces money to fix. I love the way I awkwardly laugh when I'm nervous or didn't hear you speak but too anxious to actually repeat. I smile. And for a while, that's what got me through, masking my pain. With metaphors, I fell in love with the pen, found a home in this journal, and that's how this journey began one day. I find the courage to put the pen down and actually say everything I want to say, but never got to. Let this book be my anchor and stepping stone of faith someday. I'll love Fanta Ballo and everything she's got to say.
Yeah. Oh, I love. Oh gosh. I love, I love, I
Thank
love. I
you.
think that was great. I think that was great. What would you say are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about being a poet and, the life that people may see on social media and stuff like that? Like, what do you think?
Perfect. Actually, this is one big misconception I feel like people have about me.
Uh-huh.
Um, People automatically feel like I am like soft or fragile
Uh-huh.
because of the way my work comes off.
Uh-huh.
And like
But you're not.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're
I'm
not.
not. People automatically think that
Yeah.
or like they assume that I don't do anything like
Do you think it's because you're so vulnerable in your
I
work?
think so.
Okay.
That automatically they put me in this like saint category or like they hold me to a higher level than other people, and I feel like that can be damaging at times because if I do something that they don't deem respectable or like something that they don't think I would do, it kind of makes them like, oh, look, like, oh, I
Like,
wouldn't think you would do that. But at the end of the day, I'm human
right.
and I'm not nice all the time. I'm not sad all the time. I mess up. I could be rude. I can just human.
Right.
And I feel like sometimes people just trauma dump on me
Yeah.
because they know that I'm very vulnerable, but at the end of the day, like
Still a person.
I'm
You're
still
still
a
a human,
human. And
right?
I'm not a therapist and I can't fix nobody's problems. I can only tell my problems and help with you finding light in yours.
Yeah, I definitely can see where people would like think they have you figured out just based on your work and stuff like that, and then meeting you,
And then
and
be like,
then
oh
yeah, like
wow.
being a creator and
Mhm.
having been exposed to just grand stages and like you meet all these people and all these different professionals. Like, how does Fanta Ballo navigate just remaining true to herself in all these different environments?
I think I just show up as myself. I
Okay.
don't try to show up as anybody else. I don't try to do anything different. I don't try to talk different. I don't try to look different. I
So you
don't
don't
try to
code
dress it.
switch?
No.
Okay.
I think naturally I speak in a different tone, but I don't
Okay.
think it's code switching. I think it's just like you have a way you talk with your friends and you have a way you talk
Yeah.
in
True.
public. But in a sense of like, I'm not gonna water myself down for anybody. I'm not gonna try to fit any narrative or fit any box. I just show up as myself every time, do what I do, smile from ear to ear like I do all the time, and just hopefully they love me. And if they don't, let me know what I did wrong so I can be better.
What would you say is one of the biggest lessons you learned so far with this whole journey?
My biggest lesson I learned is that don't get too caught up on the end goal. It may look different by the time you get there.
Okay.
Fall in love with the journey, and that's the most important part. Getting too caught up on how it's gonna look at the end, or getting too caught up on any L you took along the way, is not gonna help you. So I think that's my biggest lesson I learned is like, just go with the flow, girl.
Yeah.
Like just go with it. Stop. Get out your head and just go with it. And whatever happens, it happens.
Right.
So yeah.
Take things as they come.
Yep.
Live, be present.
Yep.
Presence is very big. And it's very easy to get caught up in things that don't even matter.
Yeah.
They don't matter. At the end of the day, you know what you're doing. You know what your purpose is. Continue to live in your
That's a
purpose.
fact.
So, yeah.
Period.
Is that what you would say would be like a message if you had a message to any other creators or young creators
Yep.
or creators in general? Like, what would it be?
Exactly that. Like just let things be how it's gonna be. Do not overthink. Do not do too much to work yourself up over something that's gonna happen and it's gonna play out the way it needs to play out. But my other thing is stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Okay.
When they call your number, when they call your jersey, it's time for you to perform. Get up there and do your big one. Make sure they remember you.
Good.
That's it.
Yeah. Don't make excuses.
Yep.
Don't miss out on opportunities
Yep.
because you're scared.
Right. When they
Right.
call you, show up. And if you mess up, you messed up. But you showed up.
Right.
That's more than you could have done at your house.
So, what's next? What's next? What's future projects looking like? Like, what should we be expecting next from Fanta Ballo?
Honestly, I would just say stay tuned. There's
Okay.
some stuff that I can't really talk about yet. But
Okay.
just stay tuned. If I play these cards right, it's gonna be something big. So so everybody just stay tuned. Um Continue to support my book. Continue to.
Where can they find the book?
You can find my book on my website, www.fantaballo.com. If you want a signed copy, you can also get it off Amazon, Barnes & Noble's, Target, or anything you want. But if you want a signed copy, come to my website. And then, other than that, you can follow me on Instagram at Fantaratty. That's FANTARATTY. And yeah.
Stay
Just
tuned.
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. So today's game, we are going to be playing Choose Your Words Wisely. So prior to this episode, I asked you, give me 3 words that you think are 3 components to making a poem. The 3 words that you gave me were emotions, storytelling, and passion. So I have compiled 3 different piles of words for each word. I have words within storytelling, words within passion, and words within emotions. As you guys can see, passion, storytelling, and emotions. So the game is we're going to pick 1 word from each pile. And within 2 minutes, you have to come up with a short poem. It could be anything you want. It could rhyme. It doesn't have to rhyme, whatever the case is, anything. Incorporating a word from each pile. And then after the 2 minutes, we're going to read it out to each other, laugh, judge. Okay, passion. We're going to start off with passion. Ready? So pick a word, any word.
You can see the words.
Oh. I can't really even see the words. You know that? Look how I wrote them. They're like dark, so you can't even really see them. Come on, this is how you spread out your money?
I don't use cash.
So my Zelle is 646. Wait, did you see it?
Nah.
Okay, so that was passion. Okay.
This one is storytelling. Joint dog.
This is joint dog. The joint dog. Like, are you serious? Okay. What is it? Like, take 3, why don't you?
Valid?
Oh, God.
Go ahead, buddy. I'm going to do 2 minutes and 15 seconds because you need that.
15 seconds. Not too much. I'm good. 15 seconds just for us to think. It's for both of us.
Ready,
don't say for me. Okay. Okay, go. We have 1 minute and 15 seconds. Only been days, but it feel like months. We're gone for a year, only like months. Okay. Stop putting your pen down. Cheater.
Okay, I don't have all the words.
Just finish it. Go ahead. God, you see? She said I need the extra 15 seconds.
If anybody's hearing this, I beg you to go to my page and listen to my real page.
Okay, so we're going to play rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first. And then we're going to read the words that we got and then our poems.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Gotcha. Now.
All right. My 3 words are facts, passion, and intimacy.
Okay. Facts, passion, and intimacy. Let's see.
I've grown to love the way I move and do the things I do. Mixing my poetry with passion has made this journey everlasting, and y'all can check the stats. I've been doing this, not new to this, but true to this, and has facts.
All right.
The intimacy between me and my future. First draft.
Wait, that was good. That wasn't bad. That was not bad.
That wasn't bad, but
girl, that's better than mine.
Now let's see what you got.
Okay, but it actually wasn't bad. I think you correlated the words well. And first draft at the end is summarized everything. This is the first draft. Okay, stop. Yo, you're literally your own worst critic.
No, that was garbage.
It literally wasn't that bad.
Okay.
My 3 words were thankful, fake, and connection.
Okay, that was good words.
Yeah, I didn't say I got bad words. That was just you.
That's what you was over there cooking up.
Okay, so it says, for all the connections I've made, I am thankful. Thankful for all the love, thankful for all the laughs, thankful for all. In many connections I have learned to distinguish the fake love from real, but through it all I am thankful.
Period.
Yeah.
Period, poet.
So I'm a poet.
Tiana, okay? When the book dropping?
So stay tuned.
Period.
All right. So that is all for today. How are you
I'm
feeling?
feeling good, yo. Thank you for having me. Very insightful conversations.
Fanta, your journey is so beautiful, following along. And even if I wasn't as close as we are, just supporting you has been something that has allowed me to flourish in my own journey. So I'm forever thankful for that. Thank you for being here and supporting me. And
Yes.
stay tuned, y'all. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell us anything you've learned, any questions that you have. We don't bite. She doesn't bite. Reach out to her, y'all. She's the sweetest person ever. Hey, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you later.
Bye.